No more, my Lord. No more, my
Sweetgrass
Lord.
basket weaving, a dying Gullah tradition, has been in South Carolina for many years and passed down from generation to generation. The tradition began in West Africa, along the Rice Coast, and traveled with the slaves across the Atlantic Ocean to the eastern ports of the United States, including Charleston and Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Many African American weavers hold themselves responsible to continue the tradition so it will not disappear entirely. However, this continues to get harder. Every year, the sweetgrass materials decline due to urbanization and land development. This angers many weavers because they feel it is their right to have access to materials to weave their baskets. The Charleston and Mount Pleasant sweetgrass basket weavers continue to authenticate their tradition and have a right to preserve their cultural history. However, the responsibility lies within the communities to ensure the tradition survives. Men and women have practiced this tradition in South Carolina for more than 300 years, making it very authentic. However, the complex art requires a lot of skill and many years of practice to accomplish. For a master basket weaver, a simple design takes around 12 hours to accomplish, while a more intricate design takes 3 months. Sweetgrass baskets are unique compared to other baskets made from grasses because in this art the grasses get coiled together or put together by continuous looping. Many weavers feel responsible for teaching children how to weave these baskets at an early age so that the tradition can continue through the next generation. In Mount Pleasant, I traveled on the federally funded Gullah Corridor and met with Elizabeth Kinmont. She spoke with me about teaching the sweetgrass basket tradition to children.
My daughter, son, and my nieces and nephew, they know how to do it. As long as they get the primary, the traditional way how to start it and work on it, and the basics, they can continue to do it.
Another weaver I spoke with in Mount Pleasant is a man named Elijah Dumas.
Well, if you're born in a weaver family, a true weaver's family, you must learn the art. You don't have a choice. By age 5, the young ladies must start. The guys get another 2 years. By 7, they have to learn.
In the 17th century, sweetgrass and these other materials grew abundantly. Almost every female slave made these baskets during slavery. However, due to the shortage of materials and many other threats, the sweetgrass tradition is widely practiced only in Charleston and Mount Pleasant today. Men and women in these areas struggle to find materials every day. Many have to travel hours away from their home just to obtain materials. Weavers realize that if the sweetgrass continues to decline, the tradition will soon die out completely. One person who is affected by this is a man named Richard Dingle. In his childhood, about 50 years ago, Dingle would walk down to the marsh every week to gather sweetgrass materials for the baskets that his mother and sisters weave. Today, weavers living east of the Cooper River do not have access to sweetgrass materials. The only reliable spot that Dingle has found is 2 hours away from his home around the interstate exit. All of the grass that grows closer to him grows in gated communities or homes, if it still grows there at all. Many weavers, including Dingle and his family, feel that their right of being able to continue their tradition is being taken away from them because sweetgrass is not being preserved. Dingle's wife, Madelyn Dingle, states, "I don't want the craft to be lost." Basket weaver Blanche Watt is also affected by the decline in sweetgrass materials. She states, "I used to be able to get grass right around my home, but now men have to travel far away to it." Mary Jackson also states why she needs materials to continue making baskets. "It was important for maintaining my ancestors' identity. It reminds us of where we came from and that we came from someplace."
There are sweetgrass planted around Amico Plantation, but we don't have access to it because there's since change management.
Accessing sweetgrass has been a problem for basket sewers in South Carolina for years. Robert Dufault explains in his book Stalking the Wild Sweetgrass that weavers could not get access to sweetgrass because of private property, and native sweetgrass was being bulldozed for waterfront beach homes. Because of these issues, in 1988 a sweetgrass conference was called to order. According to Dr. Dufault, this conference was the first organized effort to find answers to deal with the regional problems affecting this ancient folk art. However, many developers and managers of public lands did not believe the sweetgrass plant or tradition was endangered and refused to let Gullah people on their land. Also, many of the lands in Charleston that used to be open to the public have now become off-limits, causing the sweetgrass tradition to rapidly decline.
But there's so many rules that comes with it. It's pretty hard to come by.
However, the decline in materials is not the only reason why the sweetgrass basket tradition is declining. Baskets called seagrass baskets, the Gullah weavers refer to them as knockoff baskets, threaten sweetgrass because lots of people buy them instead. Seagrass baskets tend to weigh less than sweetgrass and consist of the same material as a straw broom. Seagrass baskets are made by machines overseas and are imported to America. Basket weaver Jeanette Garrard-Lee states her opinion on seagrass baskets. A handmade basket can take 3 days to make, but it may only take a few minutes for a machine to make a basket. A manufactured basket doesn't have the same value to it. She also says, the baskets are part of our culture, a heritage passed through generations. There's no love put into knockoff baskets. A woman in Mount Pleasant named Patricia Bosty spoke with me about seagrass baskets.
This is handmade. The other one that from China, they make it by machine. Okay.
The sweetgrass basketry has a very rich history. In Africa, Africans did not use sweetgrass to weave the baskets. They used a similar material called bulrush. Bulrush is darker than sweetgrass and is used today by a few weavers, but only for the contrast. Many weavers say that one of the reasons that they continue to weave these baskets is that it honors their faith in God. They believe that in the Bible, an Egyptian princess found Moses in a basket made of bulrush when he floated in a basket along the Nile River, making bulrush a biblical plant. However, when the Africans arrived to America, they found the bulrush too hard and too stiff. They turned to a more flexible and soft material, sweetgrass. 40% of all Africans came through Charleston, South Carolina, and over 30% came through Savannah, Georgia, meaning the tradition was mostly practiced in these colonies during the 17th century. During slavery, the baskets only had two purposes, agriculture and income. When the Africans made these baskets, they did not refer to them as sweetgrass baskets. They called them rice fanners. The fanners helped in the process of winnowing, or tossing the rice up into the air to separate the grains from the husks that the slaves harvested out in the fields. Also, if a slave made a basket that the master thought was good enough to sell, he would sell it to other plantation owners. During the 1800s, many male slaves fought and died in the bloody battles of the Civil War. Their wives in South Carolina had no other way to support their newly freed children than to sell their sweetgrass baskets. This was the first time women were left alone to support the household. In the beginning of the 20th century, the sweetgrass basket tradition almost died out completely. However, in the 1930s, basket weavers saw their baskets interested museums and collectors.
This one right here, I am going to find it. This one is interesting.
They started roadside basket stands along Highway 17. However, the widening of this highway is a major threat to the sweetgrass basket weaving tradition.
The highway is so fast now. It's no way really for people to stop. I'm in a good location. The highway is so busy, it's so fast. And then the sweetgrass development's coming in, it's getting rid of the sweetgrass also.
The Charleston and Mount Pleasant sweetgrass basket weavers continue to authenticate their tradition and have a right to preserve their cultural history. However, the responsibility lies within the communities to ensure that the tradition survives. Even though the Gullah corridor is federally recognized, nothing is being done to protect the endangered tradition. Joyce V. Coakley, author of Sweetgrass Baskets and the Gullah Tradition, explained in a telephone interview that the situation is an ongoing process between the weavers and the developers. The rights and responsibilities of the Gullah weavers to continue their basket weaving tradition grows with every generation.